Hey, everybody, and welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be looking at,
Human in the loop.
human-in-the-loop automation.
Yes.
And
Specifically.
looking at it in the world of invoice processing.
Exactly.
So we've got some really interesting stuff to cover today. We've got some excerpts from a text and also a LinkedIn article. And what's really interesting about these is that it's showing that combining humans with automation isn't just about, making things faster.
Right.
But it's also about getting things right.
Absolutely. So it's about leveraging the strengths of each.
Right.
Right. So humans are good at some things, machines are good at others.
Yeah.
And finding that sweet spot where they complement each other.
So when we talk about this human-in-the-loop thing,
Yes.
what does that actually look like? I mean, say we're dealing with a stack of invoices.
Right. So imagine you have a pile of paper invoices.
Yeah.
Because they haven't gone away completely.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right. And you need to get all that data into your system. Instead of manually entering everything, which, as we all know, is very prone to errors, you scan that invoice, and that scan triggers the automated system.
Okay, so the automation takes over there.
And that's where the magic happens.
Okay. Tell me more about the magic.
Well, the system is going to start pulling out all that important data, invoice number, the dates, amounts, all that good stuff. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
It's checking for inconsistencies.
Oh, okay.
Right? So does the total actually match up with the itemized amounts?
Yeah.
Is the vendor's name spelled correctly?
Uh-huh.
Are the dates formatted properly?
So it's not just blindly accepting everything?
It's not. And anything it flags as inconsistent or potentially wrong, it kicks over to a human to review.
Okay.
And that human can then go in and make sure everything is accurate.
Right.
And correct anything that needs to be corrected.
So wouldn't that slow things down, though?
Yeah.
Having to have a person look over it all?
You would think so, but it actually doesn't.
Right.
Because it's catching those errors early.
Yeah.
So every time you correct an error, you're essentially training the system to get smarter.
Yeah.
Right. So it's learning from these corrections and getting better at recognizing and avoiding those mistakes in the future.
So it's kind of like having an intern who's getting smarter and smarter with each invoice.
Becomes a super-powered expert over time.
Right. But, I mean, wouldn't it just be better if the system could just do it all perfectly right from the start?
Of course. That's the ideal. But remember, we're dealing with things like, invoice numbers, dates, item descriptions, prices. And sometimes there are typos, inconsistencies, or even just bad handwriting.
Right.
That even the most sophisticated AI can misinterpret.
Right.
That's where the human eye is really valuable.
So humans are good at the nuance.
Exactly. Our brains are great at picking up on subtle nuances and context that machines might miss.
So it's almost like a safety net then catching errors before they become big problems.
Precisely. And think about what happens to that data once it's verified.
Yeah.
It can then go straight into your ERP system.
Right.
And I know everybody knows what that is, but that's your enterprise resource planning system.
Yeah.
It's the central hub for all your business data. And clean, accurate data means better decision-making across the board.
And the sources also talk about how this can actually free up your team.
Absolutely.
To be able to work on things that are more strategic and less just data entry.
Yes.
So it sounds like a pretty big win-win.
It is. And, we've been talking about invoice processing.
Yeah.
But this human-in-the-loop approach isn't limited to just this one area.
Right.
Where else in your work do you think this could be useful?
That's a good question.
Right. What processes rely on accurate data, but could be made faster, smoother, less error-prone with a little bit of automation?
Yeah. I mean, it makes you think. And the sources we have today really do make it clear that this isn't some kind of futuristic fantasy.
It's happening now.
Yeah. Human-in-the-loop automation is happening now.
Yes.
And it's having a real impact.
And it goes beyond business.
Yeah.
Think about healthcare, education, manufacturing. The possibilities really are endless.
So to kind of sum all this up, human-in-the-loop automation, it's basically a way to get the best of both worlds, right?
Right.
The speed and the efficiency of machines, and then the nuance and the judgment of humans.
Exactly. It's recognizing that technology is a tool. And like any tool, it's most effective when used strategically and in collaboration with human expertise.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yes.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
In a world that's increasingly driven by data,
Yes.
how can we use this approach, this kind of partnership between humans and machines, to navigate the greatness, the complexities, and the challenges ahead? Thanks for joining us today, and until next time, keep exploring.